Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Marco Levette here with a very special episode. I've been doing a lot of that because it is African American History Month, Black History Month. And what is history without highlighting education? You know, my ancestors, your ancestors, they scrubbed floors, they did whatever had to be done so that their children and their grandchildren could go to college, get that education so that they could get that good job. But I had a conversation with two graduates of Florida A&M, a HCBU, and these women have started a school. Now, it's not just predominantly a Black school, it is global, private, online for all students. But I center and focus on the work of Regina Johnson and Tiffany Samms. Regina Johnson is the CEO, the school principal and co-founder. Tiffany Samms is the president, the school dean, and co-founder of Academy of Pivotal Learning. Why am I focusing on the work of these ladies? Because they reached out to me and I heard the passion. I became aware of the sacrifice, personal sacrifices that they are saying yes to, just so that the next generation can have a rock solid education. Because of the pandemic, some of our kids from have fallen behind. I was going to say from public school, but just I won't even say that. Some of our kids have fallen behind because of the pandemic, and some tutoring could really really make the difference. And these ladies, their school, they offer the part-time, full-time, after school programs for students. And the other thought that came to my mind as I was speaking with Regina is the fact that they are able to broaden the horizons of our next generation. They're catching kids fourth grade through 12th grade in their formative years. And some people won't get to Japan, but we live in a global market. So why not learn Japanese? Why not learn Swahili? Why not expose our kids to as much as we can? And that's what Regina Johnson and Tiffany Samms have to offer. They have to offer the things that our ancestors only dreamed of. They wanted this type of education for those coming after them. So, I want to present this conversation is my conversation with Regina Johnson. As I said, she is the CEO, the school principal, and co-founder of Academy of Pivotal Learning. But she definitely does not stand alone. She has Mrs. Tiffany Samms right there with her. Together, these two HCBU graduates are making sure that our global citizens are getting the core education that they deserve. And parents are making big sacrifices. So I want to ask you to do one thing before we start this conversation. As you listen, I want you to keep in mind that this is a online private school that is open to everyone. And though they are based here in the States, because of different time zones and the way they have their school structured, they are able to even accommodate those who reside in Europe. So don't play them small, don't play them cheap, don't think that they are just a small microcosm in this great big world. They are women doing big things. All of the instructors are certified. And as you listen, let me get back to my point. As you listen, I want you to envision the kids. I want you to seriously think about sponsoring a student. I want you to seriously think about being a sponsor for the Yearbook Club. I want you to seriously think about making a donation. And in the show notes, in the social media posts, you will find their website and the link that will take you right to the page where you can register your child. Also, they're open for registration now, I do believe. And if I'm wrong, still go to aplhomeschool.org. That's aplhomeschool.org. That's where you can register your child. Like I say, you may need some tutoring. It's okay. Help is available. Get the help that you need. And at that same link, you're able to make a donation. You can do it on a revolving monthly basis, or you can do a one-time gift, whatever is going to work for you. So before I bring this conversation to you, let me go ahead and do a little housekeeping and remind you of the sponsors for this episode. It's podcastacademyonline.com, a virtual academy that graduates podcasters. 7 weeks long online group sessions heavy on how-to instruction, information, and accountability. Graduate with your custom designed functioning podcast. Podcastacademyonline.com, designed with the adult learner in mind. Schedule a free consultation. Visit the website podcastacademyonline.com. And I want you to know our other sponsor is Academy of Pivotal Learning, an online and in-person school that serves students 4th through 12th grade. Parents, you want to ensure that your child does not fall behind academically during the pandemic, and maybe they need tutoring right now. The Academy of Pivotal Learning offers part-time, full-time, after-school, and private tutoring across various time zones. All the teachers are certified. The Academy teaches core classes, STEM, Japanese, ASL, and a catalog of lessons. Do you want to sponsor the Yearbook Club or make a financial gift to the school? I sure hope so. Visit their website, aplhomeschool.org. That's aplhomeschool.org. Registration and donation links are there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Another episode, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Well, we kind of revamped some things this year over here in the podcast, but this week we are going to have a conversation with an entrepreneur. Okay, because I'm all about reinventing to become a podcaster or an entrepreneur. And I am so overjoyed by the timing when as we are having this conversation in Black History Month. And I usually don't timestamp these conversations, but it's important that you know that I'm having a conversation with a graduate from HCBU, Florida A&M, and her and her school, president and school dean. I'm giving away who I'm speaking with, Tiffany Samms. Regina Johnson and I are going to have a conversation today about our kids, 4th grade through 12th grade. What has happened to them with the pandemic, as they say, and not to make it anything lightly, what had happened? We want to dig into what's going on, how their school, and let me make sure I get it correct, Academy of Pivotal Learning is here for our kids. So welcome, Regina Johnson, who is the principal and co-founder, CEO of Academy of Pivotal Learning. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for the invitation and the opportunity.
Oh, well, I am thoroughly excited because I listen to the news, Regina, and I see people lashing out at the administrators at the school board meetings. They're talking about bringing their guns. They're talking about their kids not going to wear masks. We already know that when we were on shutdown, so many of our kids did not have ample access or decent access to Wi-Fi. So kids have fallen behind. We understand that it seems that and I'm not bashing the public school system, but there are problems with the public school system uh, for our kids in particular. So I want to dive right in. Will you tell us about the Academy of Pivotal Learning? I love that. Pivotal means a turn in my mind.
That is why we named the school, because the sixth through eighth grade are the pivotal years in the student's life. If they don't master reading by the sixth grade, their chances of going into jail, incarceration increase. And by eighth grade, if they're not reading, it's almost a definite that they're headed that path. So we chose to name the Academy of Pivotal Learning because we're catching them at this pivotal moment. Also with the pandemic, our students lost so much with the pandemic, the learning loss, years. Schools initially closed down in March. So from March till June, they had that loss. They had that summer loss. When they came back in the fall, the teachers had to catch up from the year before. And so it was just a trickle down effect. And the kids were getting further and further behind. Yes. Also, some of the school systems that did go virtual, New York, there were sometimes hundreds of kids in one class. And so we wanted to be able to help our kids overcome those losses, as well as prepare them with life skills, global languages, career skills, and their core classes. So because we're a private homeschool online, we are safe. When they're with us in class, they're not worrying about gunshots and masks and pandemic and all of that. We have very small classes. And here's one thing that's so important. We have certified caring teachers that are multicultural, diverse. And we have men. We have lots of male teachers. We are so blessed to have outstanding male teachers as well as female teachers on board. So our kids are with experienced, caring teachers that look like them. Yes. and care about them. And in our, I don't want to go too fast or too far, but in our curriculum, our books, we make sure we've got books that got Native American main characters, Native American heroes and history, as well as Hispanic and African American. And our history, when we tell the history, we tell it from all angles. We tell it from the victor and the conqueror, the male and the female, the young and the old. And we make sure all those minority heroes that were there, that they get talked about as well. So we cover the full thing.
I hear you say that the Academy of Pivotal Learning, and I say our kids, then it is a global institution. It's not just for Black and brown students. It is a global institution. Mm-hmm. Am I hearing you correct?
That is correct. It is for any child that has excellent internet access. It's for any child. We are probably 85% African American at this point, and but is open to any school, any child, 4th to 12th grade. That can speak fluent English and has great internet access. But our students are predominantly, or a large percentage, African-American at this point.
And they have books. They don't have just a little pamphlet or a little sheet of paper.
No. Matter of fact, grab this. I'm about to ship off another shipment for book club. They get books. We want books in their hands. Yes. And so we ship a book for the book of the month, and they read the book and they discuss it during book club, which is every Thursday. And this is in addition to their English, language arts, and reading classes. We have a class that is specifically book club. They just did a unit on Savion Glover, and they got to watch tap from all the way back to the Nichols brothers. We also show them the river dance. So they saw the Irish, because that's another form of tap. So they got to see that as well. So we do make sure they have books in their hands, and we're working right now to do some fundraising to get math manipulatives in their hands. So when they do math, they've got something to do with their hands. And so our school, although we are online, we make sure that we mix our teaching with class discussions, individual projects, hands-on projects, as well as using online books and traditional books. So it's a mixture, and we use games, we use STEM projects. They built towers. They had a STEM project where they had to take lasagna noodles, spaghetti noodles, and marshmallows, and they were studying tension. So what's easier to learn tension? To sit there and read it in a book, or to do it?
Yeah.
And we want the kids to do the things. You can understand tension when that marshmallow and that noodle are breaking a lot better than you can reading about it. So we're happy to offer that to the kids. And Ms. Margot, I'm gonna jump ahead. I just want to tell this as well. We also believe that kids need foreign language young. Yes. I grew up in Maryland, Montgomery County, Maryland, and it is quite ugly, the difference between the education you get in the North and the education you get in the South in public schools. So a lot of schools in the South don't offer foreign language, and if they do, it doesn't start till high school. Mm-hmm. So our fourth graders, all the way up to this, the seniors, can choose between Swahili, Japanese, Spanish, Arabic, American Sign Language. And if we do have students who don't speak English well, they'll do ESOL, English as a second language. So these babies have an opportunity, if they start with us in fourth grade, to have 8 years of foreign language. And that gives them the upper hand in the career field. That gives them opportunity to be entrepreneurs. They can be translators sitting at home in the future, just translating. So that's just one of the many things that our school offers: the foreign language, the fine arts. A lot of schools lost fine arts. Mm-hmm. We have music and art, and we do the career path. And I don't want to jump ahead, so I'm going to dial it back, but I get so excited about the school, about our students. And so just what we can give them, in addition to the core English, math, history, science, they're getting so much more with us.
I hear the passion. I mean, my mind is twirling and dancing with about a billion questions, but when you were in the flow of it, and I mean, as an administrator, as a teacher, as the creator of this academy, I hear the love and the dedication and the sacrifice on your part to even make sure that our kids have access to become global citizens, because to be in your own little cubicle in your own little city these days is no longer enough. You are grooming global citizens. So let me dial it back just a minute and ask you about yourself and Tiffany. You all are not new to education. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Give us a little, because everybody wants to say, well, they have certified instructors and stuff, but hey, what about the administrators, the founders? Give us a little snapshot into you all's background.
That is so important, that a school administrator have a strong background in education. I graduated from Florida A&M University Business School, and then I changed over into education when our youngest son was in kindergarten. So I worked with the Upper Bound program at Florida State University. Upper Bound gets minority and disadvantaged students into college. So I spent 4 years getting students into college and overcoming obstacles into college. I spent another 4 years as a assistant principal at Life Skills Center in Tallahassee, Florida. And that school was for students who needed to go to school half day. These were high school students who wanted a high school diploma, not a GED. So they were taking their high school classes on the computer with teachers there. And so for 4 years, I got to watch these students that a lot of others had given up on. I had students who were young mothers. I had students who had been incarcerated. I had students who were gifted and talented and just weren't getting attention and needed to go at a different pace. And every graduation, we had a flower ceremony where they gave one of their carnations to a teacher or family member that had helped them graduate. And they always ended up with a big bouquet at the end of it. And I always cry, and I cry ugly. So I learned after the first graduation, don't wear makeup to graduation because it will not work. And so just that love. And then I also took some intense reading courses and had the pleasure of working with the lowest readers in Chatham County here in North Carolina and getting them 1 or 2 grade levels ahead. And that was by using a system called the Orton Gilliam, and the Augustine Literacy Project, and a bunch of other ones. But it helps students with reading comprehension, reading speed, and or learning how to read and write. So I got to work with 3 of the lowest performing schools and got those babies up 1 to 2 grade levels in their reading with the Chatham Literacy Foundation funded that project.
And so at the end of the day, you have invested in children, in education.
Yes.
You've caught them where they are.
And Tiffany did mentorship. She did mentor programs in Atlanta, Georgia, and she spent several years mentoring students and doing mentoring programs. And so both of us are in this for the kids. We are not trying to be millionaires. That's not our goal. When you see our tuition, you can tell that we're not trying to be millionaires. We want it to be affordable for everyone. We truly care about the child. And with our school, we can make adjustments with the child. If a child's at 8th grade level reading, we can put them in 8th grade English, but put them in 6th grade math to go back and get those skills if we need to. And again, you say sacrifice. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not drawing a salary. So, Regina's not making money right now because I want to make sure my teachers are paid and make sure we've got the curriculum. And as we grow, I'll deal with, my salary later on. But right now I care about the kids, and Tiffany cares about the kids.
I want you to hold that right there. Teachers in the public system already are not being paid what they are worth. You and Tiffany are not getting a salary at all because you want to make sure that your teachers are paid at the academy.
That is correct.
Is noteworthy. So you all do what it takes to be able to bring in the funds so that everything can be covered. They have books. The kids have books. They have access to the best teachers, to the best education possible to them. Let me ask you about fundraising. And now that because everything runs off of money, hey, we don't have to back away from that. I want people to understand about how we can listen to this conversation or we can take action. I'm thinking that the call to action is to visit the Academy of Pivotal Learning and be ready to donate. As we always, if we can buy a Starbucks coffee every day, and I know people who are doing it, if we can do that, if we can buy a Happy Meal or a Big Mac every day or 2 or 3 times a week, why can't we go ahead in our own big or small way, subsidize a student, at least donate? Because while we were off air, you made mention that you want to encourage your students to write. So here at Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, I'm going to do an ad read for you each and every week throughout February because I want people to donate. I want them to donate to the Yearbook Club. You made mention that is going to activate kids to write and to be active in the yearbook, which is something that's going to be with them forever. So that's doing my part. Now, anybody else, they need to listen and go ahead and say, okay, let me go over and find out how much it costs. Tuition, maybe I can get together with a family member and we can go ahead and subsidize a student that's coming. If we are forward thinking like that, then we can go ahead and make a difference, because I don't want to have a conversation with you 5 years down the road. And I know it takes a while to go ahead and build out businesses, but it is not going to make any sense for you to be 5 years down the road and not even make half of what you were making in the public system. To me, it's no. All these Black folks, all the people in the world, do we have to let that happen? I don't think so. And you all can be vetted. Your footprint goes deep. So that's all. I'm on a soapbox, but no, I'm not.
I appreciate that. We do have Zelle. They can donate straight to Zelle. We have PayPal, and they can make donations. Also, we have Cash App. We're about to do the popcorn fundraiser. You know, some people, when they donate, they want something for it. So that's fine. We'll do the popcorn fundraiser February 12th. 12th through the 15th, we'll do the fundraiser, and 50% of that money goes to the school. And the yearbook would be so excellent if they could help us fund that, because the yearbook is a hard copy permanent documentation of their works. And these students get to see the yearbook. So with the yearbook, you're having to scan pictures and do layouts and do graphic arts. And we have a literacy magazine within the yearbook. So their short stories, their poems, their artwork will be in there as well. The students who are business minded, there's an ad section so they can sell their ads. And so they get to see something from the beginning to the end, and a documentation, because a lot of kids who are homeschooled and a lot of the public schools, again, they weren't able to do some of the things they used to do. And Yearbook is an important club. I was part of it. I love it. And so that would be an excellent idea. And also the funds would be used to buy multicultural books and for STEM, for the STEM class, and for the tuition, for helping, as you said, offset some of the parents. I have one parent who has had two children in school from the beginning and is dealing with a hardship. And I don't want to lose that family. I don't want to lose them. They're too important. Their kids are too important. Their academic, emotional progress is just climbing, and I don't want that to go back down. I want them to keep climbing up that mountain to success and climb up that mountain to achievement. I don't want anybody to knock them off that mountain. We're my babies, and I say my babies, all students are my babies, regardless how old they are. All my babies are climbing up that mountain, and they're going to succeed. Yes. And we just need a little help. So, donations, fundraisers, initially, of course, Tiffany and I came out of our pockets for the initial money. Parents pay tuition, but our tuition is 1/4 to 1/8 of the tuition in the northern states. So,
Gotcha.
$130 a week pays the child's tuition. And that's full-time tuition. That's being with us 8:45 to 4 o'clock every day. Part-time, they pay $65 a week for 3 classes, academic classes, and we throw in the social for free because we know those babies need that let's talk time. And when they're talking, we give them a topic. They're also debating and they're learning. And I hope none of them see this, because we don't want them to know they're actually learning while they're debating, and they think they're just talking. But they're teaching each other things. Yesterday, Penelope, who lives in Canada, was with Kennedy, and they were doing some graphic art designs. They were designing clothes and designing cartoon figures, and just watching them interact with one another. One's in Canada, one's in Georgia, and it was just wonderful. So I appreciate you helping us get the word out and helping us get the fundraising, and especially my fellow graduates of these wonderful, wonderful colleges. Help us out. Help us out. Just like you said, a Starbucks donation helps out. And there's on one of our donation buttons, it asks, do you want this to be monthly or one time? It doesn't matter. Monthly, one time. Every penny helps us make our babies successful.
I heard
every
that.
penny.
Well, you know what, Regina, so that because I'm looking at the time and I want to make sure that everybody's clear about what's going on here at the Academy of Pivotal Learning. You all are giving them their core, the kids, the core basic requirements. And then you are enlarging their territory with foreign language and journalism. Communication is everything for anybody. So you're not just giving the basics, but you are giving them so much more than they could ever imagine, so much more than public school could give. And public school, I am not bashing you. My grandson is in public school, but there comes a time when we need to add to what we're already giving. So my final question to you is, we have students in public school, and they do want to, the adults do want to add on 3 classes, part-time classes, or something that they can add on the weekend. How is that possible? Are people able to do that?
Okay, so we have a couple programs that address that. We have tutoring. So students need math tutoring, whether it's physics, geometry, algebra. We have tutors that work with students from 4 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, we adjust the schedule between the tutor and that child's family. So students can get the tutoring. We have students right now that are being tutored in basic reading. Some are doing statistics, different areas they need help in. So we have small group tutoring. We also partner with other schools and other programs. There's a small after school program here in North Carolina that needed some things for the kids to do. And so we go in once a week and we do small group tutoring, and we bring the tutoring to that student. Tiffany Samms and I are wise enough to know that we don't know everything. And we partner with different companies and different individuals to be on our advisory board. And you're going to be getting a letter from me, Margot, saying, please be on our advisory board. But we also, like I said, we want to help other organizations that need help. We also have after school classes. So children who are going to public school, but maybe they want that Japanese class, or maybe they want that Spanish class, but they go to regular public school. We also have classes after from 4 to 6. And because we are global and because we're across the United States, when I say 8:45 to 4 p.m., I mean Eastern Standard Time. However, we have a young lady who's in California, and so we have 2 students that are in Texas. So we add later classes so that they can get a full day their time. So they don't have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to class. So we are full service. Either full-time, they can go part-time, they can take a single class, after school, or tutoring. We want to help every single child we can help. And the national tutoring rate is almost unaffordable if you need to get a lot of tutoring in. So again, our prices are affordable, and everything is listed at aplhomeschool.org. Again, that's aplhomeschool.org is where you can get all the information on the Academy of Pivotal Learning. And we also have a program where parents can send their child to school with us for a day. If you want to come and see us in action, come. We're very transparent. We're not hiding anything. We put as much as we can without giving away too much on the website, but parents can come and have their child spend a class period with us to visit the class. We also do information sessions on Zoom where parents can see a PowerPoint. I also share clips of the students in class. And one more thing, Ms. Margot, one more thing. We celebrate our students with showcases. At the end of each quarter, we do a showcase. February 5th is our next showcase, and the students get to show what they've done during that quarter. So just like we go out there and we celebrate our athletes, we're there. We pack those stadium, we pack the gym for those athletes. We pack the theater for the singers. But what about the student whose achievement is he or she did their passion project and they learned about body image? They learned about why do we drink cow milk? They learned coding. So our showcases are an opportunity for the whole public to come. Our day-to-day school is in Google Classroom, but our showcase is on Zoom so that friends, family, the public can come, and we show off our babies. We show off. You'll get to hear them do their foreign language. Our career classes include graphic arts, global beauty, forensics, the yearbook. And so you'll get to see some of their products. You'll see some STEM. And this is all the kids. The kids do this. The kids do this. And we get to celebrate their accomplishments. We get to celebrate the academics, and we get to celebrate them as individuals. And every morning we do morning meeting. We start from morning meeting. We do skills, and we just do positive, happy stuff. And again, we're there for the kids. We want to help them overcome these terrible academic losses they've suffered because of the pandemic, and the emotional, from suicide rates going up with our teens, etc. And they're lonely. They're isolated, they can't socialize like they usually can. So we have the social classes as well. They play games. We have game day where every Friday, 11 o'clock, they play Pictionary and charades and Jeopardy and old-fashioned games that don't involve that infamous controllers where you actually have to communicate with one another. So we do the core classes, We do the extra ones. We do the music. We had Ivan Hampton, who was the drummer for Luther Vandross. He's one of our music teachers. We had Greg Bannister, who toured all over Europe, who was also one of our music instructors and is now one of our math tutors. And we now have Michael Jenkins, who just graduated from college with his degree in music. And so the babies are getting music. They can get instrumental music. We partner with another school who does our vocal music. We have art. Beta Perez. I'm gonna have to brag. Beta Perez does some amazing art. So, they get the full picture, and I love our students, and I want us to grow. We're not trying to be 1,000 million kids. We just want to do a couple hundred that need us, and we need them. Impact. I learn every day from them. We need them too. It's a two-way street. Two-way.
That impact is a two-way street indeed. Gosh. So now you're about to add one more lane, and those of us that are listening to this podcast and see the passion and the need for supporting our kids. Academy of Pivotal Learning. I have all of the details in the show notes there, and let's get up under the arms of our kids. They are enduring some things that adults are having a hard time with. So Regina Johnson and Tiffany Samms, they have given us the World Academy of Pivotal Learning. So let's support them. All right. Wow. I told you it was going to be good. I told you it was going to be good. So listen out next week as I begin the ad reads for Academy of Pivotal Learning. I do ask for donations for that yearbook club. Hey, I love journalism and study journalism myself. So when our kids can communicate and they can really be a part of that industry, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I could go on and on. Thank you, Regina Johnson. I so appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Kudos. I'll be back next week, a brand new episode here at Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. And you know what? Another call to action. Pass this conversation along, okay? When you get it, share it out. YouTube, wherever you catch it, share it out. Real talk, real need. For a real future, okay? I always say, hey, it's a new year, new way. All right, we all are doing stuff in a brand new way. See you next week. Bye-bye now. I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.